Today we'll be making a no-bake, plant-based lemon cheesecake. And it's so easy and delicious. You can make it with just a few ingredients from your cupboard. But first I'm going to start with the crust. And it's a no-bake crust. It calls for 1 cup of our almonds, 1 cup of our shredded, unsweetened coconut, a pinch of salt, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, and 1 tablespoon of honey. The tools that you'll need for this recipe is a basic food processor and a springform pan. But any pan will work, but I like this because it pops out and it's a cheesecake. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna combine our dry ingredients first. And we wanna put these in our food processor so that it turns into a nice flour-like consistency. And that was our almonds and our coconut. Even add our pinch of salt. And the sea salt is wonderful because it actually makes your cheesecake sweeter. So we're gonna process this for a couple minutes until we get the nice flour-like consistency. Okay, so what we have is a nice fine flour consistency. It has a nice texture. And so we're just gonna add our wet ingredients, our lemon juice and our honey. Which incidentally has a lot of healing properties. It's good for burns. It's great if you have a sore throat. Make a little honey tea and it helps to coat your throat. So now I'm gonna go ahead and process this, and what I'm looking for is a nice consistency where it will stick and press well in my pan. And there you have it. Can you believe it? It's basically 5 ingredients and you just made a beautiful no-bake crust. We're gonna press this into our springform pan. And you could do some variations to this. If you didn't want lemon juice, you could substitute just liquid vanilla and you'd have more of a basic crust. But since we're making a lemon cheesecake, we want to have that little extra something special. And you can use your hands or a spatula. I just like to use my fingers to get it all pressed in really nice. And this crust, if you really wanted to, you could bake it at about 350 for about 12 minutes to toast the almonds and your coconut, or you could just add toasted coconut and almonds to it and it would be wonderful and delicious. Okay, so there is your no-bake crust. Okay, so we're gonna be making our lemon cheesecake filling. And this filling is no bake, it's almost 100% raw, and you won't even believe that it has no dairy. In place of the dairy, we're gonna be using 3 cups of our raw cashews. You can soak them for about 2 to 4 hours if you'd like, but since I have a high-speed blender, soaking is optional. 1.5 cups of our almond milk, that's unsweetened. You can get this in the grocery store or you can make your own. 1 cup of our lemon juice. We're gonna be using 1 cup of our coconut oil, 3 tablespoons of our lecithin, 1 teaspoon of our alcohol-free vanilla flavoring. I really love Frontier because it doesn't have any alcohol in it, and because it is a mostly raw dessert and we're not baking it, we don't want to have any alcohol because that will impart some flavor. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of honey, and we're going to use a pinch of turmeric, and that's going to give it its special lemony color. It's not going to impart any flavor, it's just going to give us that yellow color. And then I'm going to zest 1 teaspoon of a lemon for you, and let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put everything into our blender except for the coconut oil and the soy lecithin, which I'll talk about later. Okay, cashews are really good for the immune system, and they also help with depression. Then we're gonna go ahead and add our fresh squeezed lemon juice. And incidentally, lemon juice is good for the immune system as well. We're gonna add our unsweetened almond milk, and it calls for 1.5 cups. You can use any kind of unsweetened milk if you want, as long as it's plant-based. I really like the almond milk because it doesn't impart any flavor. It's very neutral. And this is a great almond milk because it only has 30 calories per serving. So you know that you're kind of really getting more benefit with less calories. I'm gonna add my honey, which also is good for the immune system. You have a nice tonic going here if you can kind of see the trend. We have our lemons and we have our honey and we have our cashews. And then I'm gonna add my sea salt. And I like using sea salt because a lot of salts that you buy in the store, even sea salt, will have an ingredient called dextrose. And that has sugar, and we don't want that. So we want to look for our sea salt that has no sugar. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of our vanilla extract. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do our pinch of turmeric. Turmeric has really healthy properties. It is good for inflammation. So we're gonna add that for our color. And again, it won't impart any flavor. And then what we'll do is we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you how to zest a lemon. This is a microplane, and you can just zest with, a regular zester, but I really love this because it goes very fast and you get a lot of flavor. And this, of course, is optional. You don't have to do the lemon zest, but since I'm doing a lemon cheesecake, I really want to make this recipe pop with lemon. And so I'm just basically spinning my lemon, and then you tap it and you get all your nice zest out. And this calls for 1 teaspoon of our lemon zest. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I wanna blend this to a really, really creamy consistency. I don't want any chunks because I'm trying to mimic what a cheesecake would be with using cream. So your cashews and everything is gonna just blend beautifully, and we wanna make sure there's no chunks. And there is our beautiful filling. It's not done yet. We're gonna add the fat last, which is our coconut oil. And then we're gonna add this ingredient, which is our soy lecithin, which is gonna emulsify the liquid from the fat. And we want those two to stay together, so the soy lecithin is gonna do that for you. This is an optional ingredient. You don't have to do it if you can't find it. You can get it at your health food store. But I also like the soy lecithin because if I leave my cheesecake out on the counter, it's gonna stay looking like a cheesecake. It's not gonna fall apart and separate. So this is a nice ingredient to add. And we want to add it last because we are going to emulsify 1 cup of our coconut oil. This is our secret ingredient. This is what's going to make it stand up like a regular cheesecake. Because once coconut oil gets cold, then it's going to firm up. And so this is what's really holding it together. And not only that, coconut oil is really healthy. It's full of lauric acid and caprylic acid, and it's really perfect for your immune system. Okay, so now we're gonna blend this all again, and we want it to all emulsify and mix together so it's nice and creamy again. Okay, so our filling is blended, and we have our beautiful lemon filling for our cheesecake. Now, you don't have to just make a cheesecake if you don't want. You can actually turn this into ice cream. And what you would do is you just pour the same batter into your ice cream maker and follow the manufacturer's instructions. In about 20 minutes, you'll have beautiful lemon cheesecake ice cream. And the other thing you can do is if you didn't want to have the crust, you could turn this into a mousse. And what I would do is I would just put these in some bowls, set it up in the refrigerator for about 1 to 2 hours, and you're going to have a nice lemon mousse. But with this finished product, we're gonna put this in the refrigerator for about 8 hours or overnight to firm it up. And you can do it quicker by putting it into the freezer, and it would take about an hour. So here is your no-bake lemon cheesecake, and we're gonna set this up and show you what the finished product looks like. So here is our beautiful lemon no-bake cheesecake, and it has no dairy. I'm gonna show you how to cut it. Basically what you wanna do is you just wanna find the middle. And you take your chef knife and you make a cut. You could continue to cut on the other side too, depending on how many people you're serving. But since we're only gonna just be doing 1 cheesecake, we're gonna only do a few cuts. Then you find the other part of your cheesecake And you have a nice quarter here. And it makes about 8 to 16 depending on how many slices you want or how thin you want your cheesecake. So I'm gonna just cut this in half again too. And I'm just gonna cut the other half of my quarter cheesecake. And what we paired this with is raspberries. We took some fresh raspberries and just crushed them. We added a little bit of honey, just a pinch of sea salt, added some lemon juice, and we have this beautiful jam to go over the top of it. And because it's lemon, it's gonna pair well with anything. You could put some blueberries, some strawberries, and of course raspberries, which we have right here. And here is your beautiful no-bake cheesecake.